institution of a community is that all they teach is a learning index. How much are you willing to learn? The second C is consistency. People come in and they want to diet. They want to lose weight overnight. It took you, you've been eating for the last 10 years. Now you want to lose all the weight in a day. You've been broke for the last 10 years. Now you want to get rich in a day. Everybody wants everything fast. Right now. Yesterday. As kids, we built things with Tonka toys and sticks, and we put cards in the spokes of cars. We had big wheels. We built tree houses. We used our hands. Today, we don't even do any critical thinking. We just put a game in a child's hand. We want everything right now. It's easy. They get quiet. Here they go. And then you want to know why your child has no common sense. Because it's not common anymore. Is everybody getting this? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Right? The third C is commitment. You can be involved with 10 people. You can only be committed to one. I'm not mad if you're involved with 10 people, but let's just keep it real. You are not committed to nobody. You're committed to yourself. Is that okay? Yes, if that's what you choose. But don't lie and say I'm committed to all of them. You can't be. Is everybody getting that so far? People get into real estate, they get into different deals, they get into different opportunities, and they're involved. You got to be able to read the people that are involved versus the people that are committed. Does that make sense? Committed to your happiness, committed to your success. And the fourth C is the cornerstone, which is communication. Every great relationship has been forged because of great communication. Every great marriage, every great friendship, every great business partner, every great deal has all been forged because of great communication. And every relationship that didn't work was because of the lack of communication. See, people will quit on a business partner. They won't quit on, they won't quit on a friend. People want to ask, how have you built such a dynamic business in so many different realms? It's because I have a family that is ridiculous. I have a Gotti crew. I got people that will take a bullet for me and will kill somebody for me. And I'm not saying that figuratively. I mean, seriously, I got a crew. When I build a team and a family in any business, we go through hell together. In every capacity. I got your back, you got my back. That's the only way I know how to roll. I don't do halfway in, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Does that make sense, everyone? Yeah. Okay? So those are 4 C's. The last E in intimate was? Explosion. You have to learn how to be an explosion in everything that you do. Like when Gordon came up here, explode. You have to fully, that's going to get into the next piece, but I just want you to have the words. Everybody got that? Now the people that missed the first half, you caught up, you got at least what's going on. Let's get you to the second half and move that real fast. This one is called, what is the theme of tonight? Who was paying attention? Gratitude. Say it again. Gratitude. Say it again. Gratitude. You got to be excited about everything that you do. I'll give you an example. So you got to be fully present. You got to be fully present. One person is thinking about their child, another person is thinking about their sleep, another person is thinking they got to go to work tomorrow, another person is thinking about they haven't eaten, another person is thinking about, well, how long is he going to go, another person is going to think about, well, can he go all night? Everybody got a whole conversation. You got a chorus in your head. Until they're all singing the same song, you can't win. That comes down to making solid decisions, definitive, about everything that you do in your life. Everybody with me, yes? So let's get to gratitude. The first G in gratitude stands for greatness. You have to make a decision to be great. From this day forward, you need to be great. From this day forward, you need to be great. You need to wake up every day saying, I am great. I am a great father. I'm a great mother. It's one of the greatest things that I wrote in my blog over this year to date. My greatest piece that I've ever written to me, and it's subjective, that means the most to me, is a lie is only a lie until it becomes the truth. I'll say that again. A lie is only a lie. See, I keep telling you the baby gets it. A lie is only a lie until it becomes the truth. It's okay. Everybody with me? Yes? I want you guys to understand the capacity of what I'm sharing here. Before you decide to become a doctor, you lie to yourself and say, I'm going to be a great doctor. Before, you become a great boxer, a great tennis player, a great hockey player, a great wife, before you become great at anything, you are telling yourself, I am going to, in real estate, I'm going to be the greatest. Is everybody following me on that so far? I'm going to be the best. And the crazy thing about that is if you tell yourself something long enough, you'll forget what was and become. Everything that you tell yourself, it's the self-conversation of telling yourself you're great. I mean, how great are you? Are you a great listener? Because everything, and they talked about that earlier in the training earlier today, and that is whatever it is that you believe you're weak at, you need to create an affirmation out of that as to what you need to be. I'm a great wife. I'm strong. I'm the strongest person I know. Does anybody understand this conversation? Yeah. And over a period of time, actions will take its course and they'll kick in. Now, right after that, R in greatness stands for to receive. Some of you guys don't know how to receive love. Some of you guys don't know how to receive gifts. Some of you guys don't know how to receive anything. I find this most true and most prone when it comes to powerful women, and even those that aren't powerful. That many women don't know how to receive because they want to be independent. Is anybody getting this so far? I mean, how many songs do I need to hear Beyonce say, I don't need a man? Okay. I think you do. See if I found that so far. It's like a man saying, I don't need a woman. That's a lie. Are you guys following me on that so far? There's a reason why we're both here. Right? I don't need my team. I'll do it all. How many people have ever built a team in any set of business and then turned and said, I just need a new team, or heard that before? Raise your hand if you've heard that before, or said it. It's okay. But the reality of that conversation is, you need a new you. Because everything that's around you is a reflection of who you are. So if you got a raggedy team, you got a raggedy you. Now that's sobering. Is everybody following me on that? Yes or yes? The A in gratefulness comes down to actions. You got to take action. You got to take action. You got to take action. You got to take action, and it goes into affirmations. Affirmations turn into actions. Action turns into success. You got to be able to repeat it over and over. How do you learn 2 plus 2 is 4? How do you learn 4 times 4 is 16? How do you know conocer means to know? How do you know hablar is to speak? How do you break it down and say, well, there's hablo, there's hablas, there's hablamos, there's habla. Is everybody following me on that so far? And then you're turning over flashcards and you're learning, oh, that's I speak. Oh, that's you speak. Is everybody following me on that so far? Everything is repetition is the mother of learning. That affirmation that you're speaking into your system will take hold and create a habit within you and then take form in that shape of an action. And you will then in turn become efficient and effective with that. You got to get great at affirmations and you got to get great at taking action. I know a lot of people that talk a whole lot. If you talk less and do more, everything will happen for you. Did that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay. T, we're going to go back to time.
What is
I'm sorry?
What is receive?
To receive.
Thank you.
A is actions and affirmation. The T comes down to time. Prime example. How many minutes is in a day? So I mean, how many minutes in a day? Daddy, how many minutes in a day? How many minutes in a day?
1,400.
You're close? How many minutes in a
1,400.
day? You guys are working out in your mind now. Yes, it's 1,440 minutes. Here's the secret. Until you know how many minutes is in a day, you don't have any days. You don't even have a life. Because everything in life is done by measurements. How many seconds is in a day? 86,400. Because seconds mean nothing to you. Seconds mean nothing to you until somebody's dying and they only have a few minutes left on the bed. Seconds mean nothing to you until your son or your child is in pain. And in turn, you just want to make the pain go away. And you're asking, how long will this happen? If they're on a ventilator system, if they have a disease, if they contracted something. You don't pay attention to time until it means something to you. That's why most people don't have an amazing life and learn how to max out time. Most people only know what day it is of the month. They don't know how many days have been used in the year. Most people don't even know that it's leap year except for what they heard on YouTube. Is anybody getting this conversation?
Yes.
Until you really understand the essence of time. If I'm sitting here, if I'm standing here, I'm giving you 110%. Are you giving me 100% of your time? 100% of your attention? 100%? If not, why? See, write this down. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. The way you do any people that are always late, they're always late. People that don't give 100% never give 100%. People that, why don't people give 100%? Because of their lack of belief in themselves and because of one thing in which most people are plagued with, the disease of lack of trust. They don't trust. But the reality is they don't trust themselves, because you can't trust somebody else until you trust yourself. If you trust yourself, you can trust others. And you'll know who to trust versus just trusting blindly and coming up short. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Time is very key. I stands for intensity. You'll notice people that are either wealthy or on their journey to wealth have mastered, and you can write this down, it's called relaxed intensity. Most people that are in the state in which you guys are, because you guys are all in business, are very intense. Gotta get it done now. Gotta do it right now. Okay, well, this isn't working. Okay, what about this? Okay, we have a problem. No. You see, a lot of people don't understand. They repel more than they attract, just in their state. People act as, write this down, you need to act as if you already have $1 million in your account. You need to act as if you've already closed the deal. You need to act as if you've already arrived. It is one of the things that, you know, Edison had said, and many of you know the saying, how did you go through 10,000 failures of trying to figure out how a condensing light bulb works? He said, you think I failed 10,000 times. I figured out 10,000 ways it doesn't work, and I'm the only one who knows how it works. I figured out 10,000 ways it doesn't work. See, that's how success works. Does everybody follow me on that so far? You have to figure out how steadfast and how consistent and how long will you stay on the path to get the information. That's why I started at the beginning of this conversation asking you, what do you want from me? If you had a genie standing in front of the room that can give you everything you've ever wanted as far as information to get where you want to be in life, are you the quiet one that lives quietly into quiet suppression and just going to leave out of here with just information in your head? Are you going to ask the questions? See, the moment you think about what other people think about you is the minute that you actually lose. See, I go into a room, and the world does not start until I walk in the room. I own every room that I walk into, not just because I'm the speaker. Even when I don't speak, I own the room. Do you understand my first meeting? I'm just going to give you an example. My first meeting, I'll never forget. I actually went into the room. It wasn't even a meeting. It was a, well, I did nightclubs. I owned nightclubs. I did concerts. I secured contracts for major players. My first 3 players was Tyrese, for those that know music. So it was Tyrese, Brian McKnight, and Dr. Dre. This was way back a long time ago. I date myself to tell you my age. But I secured contracts and deals. Is everybody following me on that so far? And here's what happened. I walked in, and they said I couldn't get in. I'll never forget. They said, you can't get in. I got in, obviously. And when I went in, I had 10 friends who wanted to go with me to this specific event. There was all the who's who within the network in which I wanted to network. And the tickets were $500 to get in. So here's what I did. I got in, right? But I was always suited. So I was suited, I walked in, and I walked through the room. This is exactly what I did. How you doing? What's your name?
Michelle.
Excellent. I want to welcome you to my event. Thank you for coming. How you doing? Madam, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. If I can get you anything or do anything, introduce anybody, let me know. By the end of 45 minutes, I walked all 10 of my friends in for free because they thought I was hosting the event. Yeah, well, you have to think outside the box and be unstoppable. Nobody was going to stop me. The host finally came and said, who are you? So funny, you should ask. I was hired to help you. One of your friends sent me, and I'm just here to help. And he was so busy doing anything, he said, great, well, could you just go meet some other people and just give them my card? Had no idea who I was because he didn't even know who was on his staff. Isn't that pretty amazing? Mm-hmm. You have to be in that state of relaxed intensity. The T is takeaway. What are you going to take away from this evening? There's no way I'm going to sit in front of somebody who is massively successful and not take away. Even if they can't answer my question, there are things. Everybody is naturally a curious animal. We're naturally curious. You should be curious about your own success and your own life, because so long as you're living, you want to have a fruitful life. Yes or yes? Yes. Right? I don't care what it is, especially when I do relationship seminars. You got to know, I'm asking questions. And there are no stupid questions except for the ones that aren't asked. So if you're going to invest your time, make sure that it pays for your time. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? I went to my first seminar, I went in, and this guy sat up and he said, only 1 out of every 4 people sitting here is going to get what I have to say. And only 1 out of every 4 people are the people in which I'm actually talking to. Imagine what I did in the middle of that conversation. I stood up in the middle of the room, similar to what Nick has done. And I said, could the rest of you guys leave so I can get the information so he can know who to look at and talk to for the rest of the day? Because I know if only 1 of 4 of us is going to get this, and there's 40 of us in here, y'all need to go home. Because I'm hungry. You got to be hungry for what you want. You got to be thirsty. You got to be forward. I mean, I don't care what it is. Whether it's, whether it's a friendship, whether it's business, whether it's dating. If you don't identify yourself and tell somebody, then nobody's going to ever know. You sit there trying to be cute and thinking the world's supposed to bow down to you, and the world doesn't even know you exist because you hide behind corners and shadows. Is anybody getting this?
Yes.
Beautiful. The U stands for unstoppable in gratitude. You got to learn how to be unstoppable. You got to learn how to be unstoppable. You have to say, everybody say unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Say unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Say I am unstoppable.
I am unstoppable.
Either I am great or unstoppable when you wake up in the morning. If you don't believe you're great yet, then say you're unstoppable until you become great. Did that make sense?
Yes.
The D stands for develop. Never stop developing yourself. Never stop growing yourself. Never stop growing, never stop growing, never stop growing, never stop learning, never stop learning, never stop learning. Fall in love with learning. And the E stands for being fully expressed. Fully expressed. Fully expressed. Now the E has another word that's attached to it that you should write down. It's called evoke. Until you learn how to evoke an emotion out of somebody else, you'll never be able to close a deal. I'm going to say that again. Until you can evoke an emotion out of somebody, until you can make somebody cry, until you can make somebody laugh, until you can make somebody smile, until you can make somebody joyful, you will never be able to move anything on this planet, because everything is moved by emotions. You go into a car dealership, Michelle, you look great in that car. Not knowing he's going to say that in any car you get in. I remember I actually went when I got my Lamborghini, and I got in the car, he said, you look good in it. I said, I better, it's over $100,000 car. What you don't understand is I can get in a $10,000 car, I'm going to still look good. I'm going to make any car look good. The car don't make me look good, I make the car look good. That was my attitude. Does anybody understand that so far? I don't need no car to make me look good, you crackhead. So you got to know your own self-esteem and understand this car is $10,000. I just made it worth $30. You got to know your self-value. You got to figure out how to rearrange your attitude, your face. Some people say, are you excited? I'm so excited. Could you tell your face? Could you tell your face? Could you smile? Could you? Anybody ever see somebody just they look like they just got 1 foot in the grave? You're like, dude, really? Well, this is just the way I am. Well, change that. How's that working for you? Is anybody getting that so far?
Yeah.
So I have a couple of things that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to teach you a system. I think this is going to be amazing. We're going to take a break because that was the warm-up to just lay the foundation. Gratitude. Everybody say gratitude? Gratitude. So this is going to help everybody no matter what you're doing. Write this down. Story, sell, facts, tell. Story, sell, facts, tell. Story, sell, facts, tell. Story, sells, facts, tell. Again, like I did with Natalie, if you aren't able to teach this, it doesn't matter. What I really love more than anything else is when you listen to successful people. I was listening to Samin. He was amazing when he actually was talking earlier. Am I saying your name properly? Is it Samin, right?
Yeah.
Samin?
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right. So when he was talking, see, the people that are successful, they do things unconsciously. It's not that he doesn't know what he's doing, he's not paying attention to it, he just does it unconsciously. When you become successful, you decide to become successful. Listen to what I'm saying. This is going somewhere before we go somewhere. Y'all with me? Yes, yes?
Yes.
You have to get to a state of unconscious competence. That's where he is. That's why he's so good at what he does. You have to get to a state of unconscious competence. Now, well, what does that mean exactly? Well, unconscious incompetence is where you start. That's when you don't know what you don't know. Then you move into a state of conscious incompetence. You figured out that you don't know jack. Then you finally get to a state of conscious competence. That's like driving a stick shift. Anybody ever drive a stick shift for the first time? You remember that first time? And you get on a hill, and it starts to go back, and you're, oh my God, and it's clutch, and it's click, you got to shift. Are y'all with me? That's called conscious competence, because you realize, I know, but I'm unsure, uncertainty, I'm a little rocky here. Then you get to a state of unconscious competence. Now, some of you may be too old for this now, but you all have been here before when you went to a party when you were young, or you were in a state, and maybe you had one too many drinks, or you had a buzz, and you drove home, but you don't even remember driving home. It's called unconscious competence. You have to get into your business. I can close somebody on a three-way call. I can close somebody on a one-on-one set. I can sell a piece of property in my sleep. I can do anything I want without thinking about it, because all the parts are moving in unison unconsciously. I can wake up out of my sleep and immediately say, I don't need 5 minutes to warm up. You can put somebody, I've done this. I've gotten up out of my sleep, had a phone call for somebody, marketing a project, did the most phenomenal job, hang up the phone, went back to sleep, and they called me 2 hours later and said, thank you so much. I said, for what? And forgot I had the call. You just turn on. Is anybody understanding that? I know some periods. Is anybody getting this so far?
Yes.
You got to get into a state. See, look at the person next to you. Just read their state. Look at it. Look at their face. See what kind of state they're in. Some of them are in a state of confusion. What the hell? Why did you ask me to come see this tall, bald black man again? Yes, I am. Everybody with me, yes or yes?
Yes.
Now, I want you got story, right?
Yes.
So I want you to learn why I brought up some meaning in this conversation of an unconscious competent state. For those who were at the first half, he actually sat up here and he shared his business in a way that was a story for success, for others to be able to relate to. Anybody remember that conversation?
Yes.
So you got to be able to teach. Not everybody's going to get this. You have to, but those that want greatness, I'm going to tell you, goes back to systems. It's going to go into her clothing line. It's going to go into her oils. It's going to go into his real estate. And I want to teach you how to tell a story. And that's what most people don't do. I actually shared this with a few people the other night. There is the beginning, which is where I am. Write that down, where I am. Part 2 is where I came from. And part 3 is where I'm going. Part 1, where I am. I'm in a state that I'm working a job, I'm working 2 jobs, I'm working 60 hours, I have my own business, I have no life. My kids don't see me. I need more space, I need more time, I need more leverage, I need a vacation, I need more smiles, I need my husband back, I need my wife, I need to get my children's education paid for. I need some things in my life, that's where I am. I came from nothing. I came from nothing. Where we came from, as you heard Sabir talking about, for those who were here, and you heard Sabir talking about, we came from where we were at number 26. We were in the 50, top 50. And then I met a guy named Gordon. And it moved from like 50 to like 16, and then 17. And then we finally made it into the 10. And we created this game. And this is over the last 2 years. And now we're playing a game called 555. And now we're going to have 5 locations. We're going to be in the top 5. We're up to 3 locations. We're closing out on the 3rd one. We have specific, definitive goals. But the vision of what we're doing in the team, when I have the right team all buying into the same vision, that we are going to be number 1 within the next 18 months and within the top 5 within the next 6. Where I am is this is where we are. We're busting our tails. We're doing well right now. But I need to tell you where we came from and what got us to the state of where we are, so that you can relate and understand. You don't have any money. I was in the same position like you. You can understand that system. You can write that down. It's called feel, felt, found. Feel, felt, found. I don't have any money. I used to be just like you. And the way I felt was broke. But what I found is when I made a decision to never be broke again, the world changed. And then in turn comes the vision. Now I just gave you the meat of the sandwich. That's what goes inside the sandwich. There's an alpha and an omega. Does everybody follow me on that so far? The alpha in the beginning is you must make the demand. There's a demand, then where I am. Is everybody with me on that so far? There's a demand, where I am, where I've been, where I'm going, and then there's a request. It's an amazing system to be able to teach your teams. Where I am, where I've been, where I'm going, story. Demand in the beginning. My demand in coming up here and having a conversation with a few people is that I only have one reason to be here. Outside of Gordon and Randy, I only have one other reason to be here. You never do anything without an agenda. I'm not here to sell my package. Those that buy it, God bless you. You have no idea. You're making millions on top of millions before you even know it. You're blessed because you'll never get me at that price. I only would do it. I'm telling you, I only do it for Gordon and Randy. It's expensive for me to offer my package. The time in itself cost me millions. Does that make sense? Are you guys following that? It's my way of paying forward and helping people. In the story, in your story, it has to be, everybody say, my story.
My story.
It has to be your story. You have to write a story about your life that people want to hear about. And you need a coach of somebody who can teach you how to write a very profound story. When you have a powerful, profound story that is living in the state of truth and authenticity, then you never have to look for the right person. You don't have to sell anybody. You don't have to convince anybody. You don't even have to hope that somebody gets your conversation. Because the right people are going to hear what you have to say and the wrong people are going to go away. See, you only have this state of hesitation or uncertainty when your story is not clear to you and you can't make it clear to somebody else. You may not know exactly what you want in a relationship, but raise your hand if you know what you definitely do not want in a relationship. Everybody knows what they do not want. Yes or yes? Yes. Right? You see how I'm there from a yes. You know what you don't want. You may not be clear on all that you do want, but you know what you don't want. You have to make a demand to the universe. You got to be definitive. You got to talk into the universe and know. I look for somebody who has, I get 5 attributes. If you want to know what I look for before I let people even into my life in any way, I look for 5 major attributes. Would you guys like to know what they are?
Yes.
Number 1, and they aren't in order. I'm just telling you what I look for. I look for work ethic. I look for somebody who works harder. See, I'll take work ethic over talent any day of the week. I want somebody working 75, 80 hours a week. I want somebody who understands work. That's why you got to understand in school, where, think about it. We all went to school at some point. Nobody in here retains more than 10% of what you went to school for. Because education doesn't teach you anything to remember, anything worthy, unless you're, I mean, there's a few vocations. Does everybody follow me on that so far? But for most, you don't remember history. You don't remember, you know, biology. You don't remember 90% of stuff you went to school for. So what was school? Why is it that the A students always come up short and the C students always get rich? Have you noticed the C, B students get rich? Have you guys noticed that? Let me give you an example. I would go to school. My friend would say, let's go to a party. I would say, I don't want to go to a party because I have to read. He said, I read that last night. Anybody ever go to school with somebody that read it one time and get straight A's? And you're like, oh man, you hate them. I have people like that all the time. And I'm like, I'm barely past like 2 or 3 chapters, and he's like, I read the whole thing, and he's out partying. He's like, oh man, the girls here and I'm drinking. Come on. And I'm like, this 3 days in, he's like partying. And I still got a C+, and he got an A. And I was pissed. Anybody understand this conversation? But you know what happened? What school trained me on that most people miss is it trained me on how to work harder than anybody else. There's nobody who can outwork me. I can go 3 days like this with no sleep. My military mindset is ridiculous. My work ethic is ridiculous. My state of mind is ridiculous. My attitude is ridiculous. I have an insatiable appetite to just attract the few people who understand. Wealthy people are considered workaholics because they forget that they're working. They're in the cave figuring it out. Turning is that kid with the Rubik's Cube that doesn't know how to put it down. That's how life is when you get excited about your life, where other people are just like, And the rest of them look at you like a sideshow, like, oh my God, how do you keep going, Severe? Oh my God, how do you keep going, Gordon? How do you keep showing up like this? And it is what crazy is, you know, every country that I go to, you get a different culture. Like you guys are a conservative culture. I mean, that's what Canadians are. You guys will look at me like, this kid is on crack. Yes, I am. Kidding, I don't do drugs. But is everybody getting this so far? You guys are conservative. But I'm not going to change me to fit into you. Does everybody understand that? Because here's what I learned about exceptional people. They're exceptional all over the world. Whether it's conservative, whether it's crazy New York, where it's slowed down Montana, whether it's in Mexico where they can barely understand the language, and when you're talking to them and they have a different humor in Mexico than they do in Canada or in the United States. Everybody follow me on that so far? Okay. When I go to Australia, it's a different culture. When I go to Japan, it's a different culture. When I go to Germany, it's a different culture. But there's one thing that exceptional people always attract each other. The people that are exceptional in the room, we just naturally gravitate. We get high off of each other. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Right? And the rest of the world lives off of it in rations. In that story, yeah, for real, in that story of the middle and the beginning and the end, everybody with me on that? Where I am, where I've been, where I'm going, you have to make the decision. So number one is work ethic. Number two, I look for somebody who has a dream. I believe you're either building a dream or you're building a nightmare. Number three, I look for somebody who wants to make a significant amount of money. Number four, I look for somebody who wants to change the world. They want and they desire to change the world. Number five, I look for somebody who has spiritual values. Whatever they are. Because I believe if a person does not have spiritual values, they don't understand the word faith. And without faith, you cannot build that which you cannot see, which means you're only living off of what you can see. Now, I'm going to take this to another level. We're going to take a break. I'm going to give you an exercise for those that can get it. But I think those that are here, you'll truly understand the process. Is everybody following me? Yes or yes? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes or yes? Yes. Now watch this. In that, we're talking about, with this story, this goes in, and what I just gave you as far as the system, write this down. It's called an enrollment conversation. You need to master an enrollment. 80% of the people on the planet are enrolled before they actually register. Before you go to college or university, you enroll. Before you go anywhere, you must enroll. Most people miss out on the mastery of an enrollment conversation, which means they don't understand the system closes people out. You don't close people. In any business, it's the system. But the mastery of your enrollment conversation, when I create a movie, it's my pitch of the movie. When I'm writing a book, it's my pitch of the book. When I'm doing an opportunity, it's the pitch of the opportunity. When I'm selling real estate, it's the pitch of the opportunity of the project. See, everybody getting that so far? How great see, people don't buy what you do, they buy who you are. Write that down. People don't buy what you do, they buy who you are. Who you are is the belief system that lives within the internal core of every sales project